Well, hello, hello, hello. We've made it on. Good evening, afternoon, good night. Replay, please, replay watchers, make sure that you say hashtag replay. And we are so excited that we have our audience moving and listening live at Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And I am your host, Ayanna Smith. I am a financial professional and I help people make and save money in a tax-free manner. Yes, I said tax-free. And we also do a plethora of other things, but all things finance, because everything we do, I know you can agree and give me some interaction, requires or involves money of some source. Hello, hello, hello. So excited to see everybody coming and participating and joining. Hello to everybody. Hello, sister. Yes, absolutely. So that's my blood sister. Yes. So so excited that she's joined in this evening. So basically, we've been talking since July and now it's August. Can you all believe it's August? It's like, wow. we are already moving toward the end of the year, and we have been in a few years now of a span of tumultuous times with our economy, the different things going on there, with illnesses that have affected that, with unemployment, with different things of that nature, loved ones we've lost, friends that we've lost due to illness, sickness, disease. And this took me to a place to think about talking about some of the stuff that we don't like to talk about. And one of my mantras, well, the main mantra that I say on the show is money is always talking, and you probably can finish it out even if we aren't talking about it, because money is needed for everything. We also talk about on the show, we want to have sometimes that ostrich head in the sand and think that if we don't talk about it, then it's going to go away. But actually, when we don't talk about things, I know you can agree, they don't go away. They don't disappear. Oftentimes they amplify and explode. And so this is one of the topics, the estate planning, that we shared in the month of July and wrapping up in August. Now, if you have another topic, some more things that you want me to share and talk about, let's do that. Please send me an inbox so that we can have some conversation. I know it may not be the most exciting topic, because I'm I'm not doing these challenges we see on all social media. But I tell you what, just like you see those challenges when people are climbing stuff and falling down, it's going to be similar to that if we don't figure out how to get a good handle on our funds, and then what we're going to do with them. We'll be falling down like those crates and we don't want that. Not at all. Not at all. So we've been going over, like I said, estate planning and health, basically advanced directives and all of that. So we're going to do tonight like a little recap for a few moments, few minutes, and just kind of talk about some of the things that we had covered. And with estate planning, I said August is estate planning 101. Can't go through everything because, again, I'm a financial professional, but I'm not a lawyer. I thought about going to law school. Might even happen one day. I don't know. Who knows? However, what I do share, my disclaimer is, I know that in estate planning and any planning, you need to have a team. So it's not a team of one. So the things that I'm sharing is not just from my view. You can verify, look them up. Please solicit your own legal support, because it is imperative that you know what to do, because things vary from state to state. And one thing that I know that I didn't get into throughout this, which is very, very serious, I talked about oftentimes, just how you leave families and how families look. But let's go back through some of the recap of what we asked about with some people are asking about with the estate planning. We said, why was it important? And that estate plan is important because it covers, if you think about an estate plan, it basically is going to be similar to if you had a box and you had a bunch of things that you liked, what have you. Just say if you had things to cook. okay, and you wanted to cook, your vegetables, just say it was a Thanksgiving box, for example, and some of the things immediately comes to mind when you think about a Thanksgiving box. You're going to have, for those who eat turkey, you have some turkey, you have some stuffing, and if you are my mom, you are not going to go without some cranberry sauce. And then you have some, maybe some corn and collard greens and just different things that you can think that would make Thanksgiving for you. And all those things would be in the box, and they are all a part of that Thanksgiving meal. And they have their level of importance to you and your family because you know what you like to eat. Well, such as it is similar with an estate plan situation, you want to make sure that you have the things in there like your power of attorneys. You want to make sure that you have your wills drawn up. You want to make sure that you have your medical directives and all of those things as you can look back, especially if you go to my YouTube channel, you can go back and see all of the videos in a collection. And you can see where we've talked each week about different parts, so we don't have to go over each part in its detail like we have done over the past series. But I want you to think about, okay, all of these things are very important. They are very necessary, and I need to know how they work. It may not be the thing that we're the most savvy about, but we have to have some working knowledge of it. It's just, like I said, we can't sit and do nothing and say that we can't figure anything out when we Google everything we want to Google. And I'm not punning Google, but we search and research everything at the speed of our fingertips. As fast as you can type, you can find out what you need to find out. And even if you can't type, you press the button and start talking to somebody. One of those virtual people will pop up on your phone and start saying what you, responding to the question that you asked. Okay, so with that being said, we do need that estate plan because it is so important, because having the estate plan tells the family that's left or while you're living what to do in the event of something happening. It's not when we're going to pass away. I mean, if we're going to pass away, it's when we are all going to leave here, not being morbid, not being insensitive, but not having things in place and then leaving it and saying that, well, I'll just leave my family to figure it out. Is such, I could think of a word that would probably be kind of harsh, but it's just really not cool. Just how to put it like that. It's on the side of, I know I have some friends, my sister would say it's just raggedy. And it is. And it's because it's our mindset. I had to figure stuff out, so I'll just let everybody else figure it out. It's so pitiful because nobody should be stuck on figuring out a whole bunch of things that could have been done on the front side and then have to add the things that were not figured out, along with grief and trauma and stress on the side when you can't do anything about it. So this is why an estate plan is important. And we may think we don't have anything to cover, but you would be surprised. You even have to talk about, and I would say this, in the estate plan, drawing up that last will. That last will is all encompassing as well, because it talks about where you want things to go. Yes, but it also needs to have in there, if you have children, small children, because see, we have, and the thing is, a will is a living document that can be updated at all times. Just like when I work and help clients with their life insurance and their things of that nature, beneficiaries you have to remember the beneficiaries can be changed at any time. As long as you are of sound mind, call and get that form, you can change them, because this is the thing that happens. Now, I will insert this. A will does direct where you want your money to go, any assets and things of that nature. Yes, it does. But if you do not change the beneficiaries and have them the way that you want them written on a life insurance policy, they will go, the money, the benefits will go to whomever is listed. So it's not going to be, they should just give the money to XYZ. No, they don't have to do anything. If everybody's names who were not, who were intended to have something, you have to do that while you are of sound mind and living and make those changes, because you can't change it and nobody's required So let's just break it down in a real situation. If you don't look at your retirement papers and anything that you have your names on that offers a beneficiary, somebody's going to get the money when you pass away. If you were married and you forget to take your first spouse off, let's pull a real one so it won't sound like I'm dancing around it. If you forget to take the first spouse's name off of your stuff, you die and you got the second spouse there, they don't get anything unless you had their name on something. And it's not an automation in this thing. It is just, because the insurance policy is that contractual agreement between you and the insurance company, and they're going to go by who you put as the beneficiary. So that means we have to be responsible to keep in contact. I say as a professional, I keep in contact with my clients to say, listen, you want to make sure we have a review so that we can look over your things. Do you have everything the way you want it? Let's do a little quick checkup to make sure that you have the names on it that you want it and all that. That's why I try to keep the relationship there, because those are the things that sometimes we put on the back burner because, you really can't see a life insurance policy. Okay. But we need it, and it's pitiful if we don't have it, right? Okay, so make sure those things are in order. But the will does tell people where different things are going to go. Also, you need to make sure that if you have small children, that you have that divvied out. Who's going to take care of my children? Because if you don't have those things in order, then the children can become a ward of the state. And then if you say, well, just God forbid, both parents are gone, or you say, well, I don't necessarily, they don't spend a lot of time with their birth parent. They spent more time with the other parent, or whatever the case may be. Everybody's situation is different. That's why you have to enlist the support of legal counsel on your team and all of that, so you can get all those things straightened out, because it's by the state's regulations. Every state has its own rules and guidelines. So when I'm speaking in an overarching, generic form of giving you factual information, but you have to get your final information and flow from seeking the counsel of a lawyer and looking up things that are pertinent to your state. So make sure you have to do that. Okay. Make sure that within that, we're talking about the estate planning, but making sure we're going to draft a medical directive. That's been a thing that we got we really got hooked on for the past few weeks. And I had people that were reaching out to me, and we had talks, and they called me and we talked through some things, because it does matter on how your children function. And also too, if you have, people that you're caring for and they're over the age of 18, just how does that work out? How does that look? It's so many things. If you're the caregiver for somebody, whether it's a sibling or whether it is a family member, whatever age it may be, you have to know how that's going to look. Are you going to serve as a power attorney for them? How does it work after they pass? Because after somebody passes, you're no longer the power of attorney, but then you need someone who is then the executor of that estate and of that will. So within that, getting back to our line on the actual screen, it says draft a medical directive. We talked about the medical directive having components in it, and making sure that that you have that living directive, advanced directive, to tell the caregivers, meaning healthcare professionals, if you want to be resuscitated or not. If you have a DNR means do not resuscitate. If you are not one that wants that to happen if you have to go to the hospital, then you would make sure that that's written and that that's noted in your records, so that if you code, you stop breathing, they don't do anything to give you that palliative care to bring you back. They just allow you just, go on away peacefully, or however, if it's cardiac arrest, they just say, well, they said don't resuscitate. That's that. But then also we talked about, even in the DNR, I would say this, if you called, for example, somebody had a duress at their home and the ambulance, the EMTs were called. The EMTs do not flow like you can put the DNR in place in a hospital per se. Okay. They flow under the mantra of, we are going to save your life at all costs. So if you're someone that says, I don't want to be resuscitated, I don't want them to do all that extra stuff to me, I don't want them putting in medication, then you have to have, we talked about, you have to have a post in place. It's POLST. You can look that up. You can check on cancer.org and look that up with the medical directives. And that's a place to show you what that particular document is going to entail, so that you can get that in place if you truly are just adamant. So the things that we don't even really think about, some of us have our own belief system on that. Then we need our wishes carried out, because I've seen it and heard about where people were just like, no, I don't want to be resuscitated, but they were being treated by an EMT, and they said, no, we have to save their lives at all costs. And that's pretty much how that kind of runs. Okay, so to get further clarity, as I said, check with your state that you live in, whether it's North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, wherever you're watching and listening. Make sure you check, so that you will have all those things in alignment, and that your true wishes can come out and be carried out like you want them to be. Because it is a travesty to here's the thing. I put it like this: when our last breath has been taken, we cannot say anything else. But before that happens, less in our each moment we are moving along and breathing, that we take the time to get these things in order. Because we go. We are in the middle of trying to stay safe and just try not to let our breath be our last breath. And it's serious, but we want to make sure we put those things in order and have something written down that we can really be proud of, even if we don't know anything about it. Right, we'll know about it before time. So if you need help on that, I can direct you, and also have, we can sit down and talk about that, because I have a way to help you to get some of those things in order, and through talking and some services. And then what else that I cannot help you with, of course, we move forward to looking at making sure you have that team. And so as we kind of are going on a descent, we talked about during the July and August months about our team, who we needed on our team. We need an attorney. We need a financial professional. We need a healthcare professional. Also, I would say include a counselor. Oftentimes we don't know how that looks, but a grief specialist. I have a few friends I know that now are grief specialists that help people get through the traumas and the hurts and the basically the PTSD that a lot of people we're walking around and carrying things from times past, and then also having we talked about having the funeral home director. And some people may like, no, we don't want to talk about that. Like I said, just like money is always talking, even if we don't talk about it. And we don't have to talk about passing away, but we're going to do it. So let's have conversations on the front end, so that we won't have everybody stressed out on the back end. And I can only imagine that, I don't know, because I'm still here talking with you and you. But it is, I can only imagine, just go with me in my mind's eye, the people who didn't prepare, or they thought things were going to go okay, and that their family would just figure it out through the tears and through the grief and the screaming and hollering and falling out that sometimes people go through. If they could see their family and the family can't see them any longer, what in the world you think they're thinking? Wow. You think they're like, wow, I should have, I didn't know they were going to act like this. I guess I should have made sure things were all together. So with that, we want to make sure we have our stuff in order and discuss all of the things about drafting those medical directives and making sure that we give a trusted person financial power of attorney and also power of attorney. And it has to be a trusted person. So this is very key. And then as we look at this again, name that beneficiary, as we talked about earlier. Name the beneficiaries and make sure that you have the people that you want as such on your paperwork, whether it's retirement papers, any type of financial things, or IRAs, your TSPs, your 401ks, and all that, your life insurance policies, most definitely. And also basically Get a life insurance policy. We can help you with that. It doesn't take much. Sometimes it takes less than what you think to get things started. And we go from there, because I tell you, having something in place is better than absolutely nothing in place, because nothing is free. You can't replace a life, no, but you can save some of the grief if people don't have to come out of their pockets and try to figure different things out. And then just to add on to that, you can make your estate plan is so much better and so much sweeter if you know how to work with the right types of insurance policies that now are making money for people while you're living, and then also protecting you while you're living, with living benefits and helping you with things of that nature, so you won't get, if you get sick, you will have something to actually lean on while you are alive. So it's not just for when you pass away, but things can be set up for when you are alive. So make sure that we get together. The bottom line, we need to get together so that we can talk about these things, because everybody's situation is different. It's not a one size fits all. I love to say it's all one size fits you, because everybody's situation has its own DNA, and we want to make sure that we are meeting, matching, and helping you to exceed your expectations on what you need to be done. And when you don't know where to start, that's what it takes, just a complimentary call to get things set up. And we can do that by making sure that you go to www.askayanna.com to set up a quick complimentary talk. Also, make sure that you connect with me on @Ayanna_financial pro. Those of you who are viewing from Instagram, and then at Ask for Ayanna on my Facebook business page. And of course, you're seeing it from my personal as well page on Facebook. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because there you will see all of the videos that we've talked about and shared, and different topics we've gone through. They are all on YouTube in one area collected together, as opposed to maybe not finding them as succinctly on the other channels or the other social media platforms. But the main thing is, the goal is to educate so we can elevate. Okay. And we have to empower people so that we can make some better decisions and move to the next level, because we're at the next level, but we just want to walk in it and really be empowered to do even better and even greater things, and not get stuck or stumped on just the little things that we just didn't tweak when we had the mindset to do it. So this is Ayanna Smith, and this is Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And I thank you so much for coming in. And thank you so much, Miss Cheryl, for coming on. I got a call for you coming on the way. And we are so excited. Again, I help people, Ayanna Smith, I help people make and save money in a tax-free manner. And I am looking forward to connecting with each one of you. Connect with me so we can have some talks and we can get some things shelled out and our lives moving on to the better places that they should be. Y'all have a great one and have a good night.